Michael Penix Jr.
Love it.
Number
Solid.
one. I think Coach Atlanta is going to be a surprise. Well, it's just there's no order. These are just five guys that are going to make the
fluid.
league. Yeah,
fluid.
well, fluid. These are five guys going to make the league. I like Coach his poise. He's smart. He's obviously got arm strength. He only started 3 games last year, and the stats weren't phenomenal. He had 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. But I thought he played well. I liked what I saw for being thrown in there. And the thing is, he's got major weapons like Drake London, Kyle Pitts Jr. At some point, maybe Kyle Pitts Jr. will live up to
a contract year, so that's
yeah.
good.
There you go. He would live up to his promise. And then you got Bijan Robinson and Algiers too at the running back. So I expect them to challenge Tampa Bay. I think Tampa will win the division, but I think they'll be a surprise challenger to them. His problem through college is staying healthy, and that could be an issue in the pros. But if he's healthy, I think he'll play well.
This is no surprise, all right? Penix and the Falcons are getting this thing going. And his stats were actually great if you actually know what you're looking for, especially if you actually watch the games and you'd understand that it should not have been 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Also, that's just one metric, but he easily could have been 4 and 2 for touchdowns to interception ratio, and also factor in the fact of when they asked him to play, they literally just threw him in and said, please win us games so we can get to the playoffs, right? Like, he easily had the hardest first few games of any other rookie, really in recent memory. I mean, someone would have to let me know when some other rookie was thrown into a team where they were just like, oh gosh, these games actually legit matter, like please start. And it's like late in the season, like to my memory, I don't recall that happening where like there was actual stakes involved with a rookie quarterback in that regard. Make no mistake about it. Playing the first 3 games of a season compared to the last 3 games of a season for a team trying to fight for the division and a playoff spot, just light years of difference. I mean, it's not even worth comparing in terms of what you're asking a quarterback to do, quite frankly. So the fact that I saw Penix legitimately thrive in a brutally difficult situation is what impressed me more than anything, beyond just what the stats. And even though I already showed you guys the stats before, it was like what he did was wildly impressive. Like I keep saying this, like his first 3 games were better than the first 3 games of Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, and Caleb Williams. And he had to do so in a situation where it actually mattered. Like it you know, and like that means something to me. So I'm so excited for what this offense can do. And again, the types of throws that he was making like high level veteran throws in game 1. And I don't care who it was against. Like, I don't care that he was playing like the Giants or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. The reads and the throws that he was making were just, you know, the layers of it all were just, and the anticipation, it was just beautiful. And it was just like, all right, like this is for real here. And so like that's, again, I don't care if you're playing against the worst team in the NFL or against the worst defense. It's like you can still see the quality of what you're looking to do and the execution of it all, and the obvious circumstances of like just being thrown in and saying, hey, you know, try your best, kid. Let's see what we got here. So I just continue to find that really, really impressive, to the point where it made me angry that Penix didn't play earlier. And then I kind of, you know, as soon as the season was over, I was just like, Atlanta Falcons fans should be furious. They should be furious that this is the way how this season unfolded. Because if they were just smarter and made better moves, they could have won the division and been in the playoffs, and that would have really accelerated this whole process. Because now Penix would have had playoff experience. Like there just would have been more synergy and energy and momentum behind it. But the silver lining is that they got a higher draft pick. They were really aggressive defensively, obviously, in the draft. And it's like if this offense can be as stable and as great as I believe it has the potential to be, combine that with like an upgraded defense, it's just like, how is this team then not competing for the division and competing to, at the minimum, at least be in the playoffs? Like, I mean, the only way that doesn't happen is if Raheem Morris really is just like an absolute disaster of a coach and Penix just can't stay healthy, or he's just nowhere near as competent as I believe he is at this point in his career, right? It's not to say that he couldn't get there one day or be a great quarterback, but part of why I believe Penix is going to be, or why the Falcons and Penix for that matter will be successful this season, is because of the quarterback that I believe Penix is today, and the lack of learning curve that has proven to be a thing for him. So that it's more for me right now, not even big picture, long-term picture. It's more of just like who I believe Penix is today. Not trying to figure out what his ceiling is, not trying to figure out how great or how brilliant or where he's going to rank among the other quarterbacks. It's just like I see a competent quarterback and not a wide-eyed rookie who's going to be like, oh gosh, like it's going to be really messy and up and down. Like he's going to have his mistakes, he's going to have some ups and downs, but I just feel like it'll be a lot smoother rather than a true roller coaster ride. I mean, for me, that's where so much of my confidence comes from, Penix and this team more than anything. But it is interesting to say that they're going to be a surprise when, even though things were kind of as much of a disaster as you could get, kind of honestly, last year, and yet they were still fighting for it. Like they were still like right there in a lot of ways, and you had bizarre quarterback play, bizarre special teams, and field goal kicking. Like there was a lot of wonky, crazy stuff, but like everybody was over the moon with the Washington Commanders, and rightfully so, me being one of them, and just praising Jaden Daniels. And like it went down to the wire between those two teams. It went down to the wire. And I mean, the Falcons played the Commanders better than a lot of teams, better than a lot of teams. And again, that's with a quarterback who was just thrown into the mix. And they played better than the Bucs did. They played better against Commanders than the Detroit Lions certainly did. And so again, you can't always just use that as a trump card to be like, see, that's how you know this team's good, because the best example of why that's not the case is the Las Vegas Raiders beat the Kansas City Chiefs in 23, right? And it's like, doesn't mean that they were just that close to being a Super Bowl team. It's like, that doesn't mean that at all. But it can still be taken into consideration. You could still kind of see like, well, why did they play close? Or how did this game unfold? And is there a divisional component that just, always makes things a little bit weirder? Is it the fact that the other team was just playing really poorly? You got to figure out like, why was a game close in the first place? Or why can one team be so successful and another team not? But yet when they play each other, it feels competitive. Like it's always a fascinating thing that we see in the NFL, that even some of the worst teams in the NFL can still give another team a run for their money. And you're just like, like why is that? Like why is that the case? And to me, when I watch a game like that, it was just like the Falcons clearly, like there's clearly something there for them. There's clearly something there for them. They can play. For them last season, it was kind of just like death by 1,000 paper cuts, honestly. Like it was just like whatever could go wrong did go wrong. And that if they could just like, again, whether field goal kicking or a quarterback play, if they just had like some stability in just an average amount of the important moments throughout a season, they probably win the division. I mean, like, think about what I'm saying here. You just needed to be average. You needed to just be essentially average, an average amount of time in the important moments. So I'm not saying you had to be great in all the big moments. I'm not saying that you needed to be average in every single great moment. Like, you just needed to be average, an average amount of the time at the important moments. And if you just did that, you probably win the division. And they couldn't even do that. So like it's like you're not asking for much to get there. So it's gonna be exciting, honestly. I have high hopes for the Falcons and seeing what they can do. And of course it will all stop and start with Michael Penix Jr. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Penix and the Atlanta Falcons? Do you think they'll be a surprise competitive team and be competing for the division and playoffs? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.